So this Kunchen Jimelingba, when he wrote this treasure of quality, above beginning the praise to the three jewels, he used this, this story with his points. So it's very beautiful, meaningful. So sometimes our Westerners, three jewels are put a little down. I remember, maybe many years that I have been traveling a little bit here and there. The Pato Rinpoche's students in Portugal and Denmark. I have one translator called Karen, and I have tried to telling this refugee, bodhicitta, those things, And then one day she said, "Now I'm really boring. You are always talking only three jewels." But really, it's devotion to three jewels is very important. So if someone don't have devotion to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, how that person can be followed the Lama? How can we have devotion? So please raise the devotion, raise the confidence, learn more about Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Okay, I think our time is not so much left, so therefore the conclusion parts maybe it's not very kind of big meanings, so even we read, it should be kind of okay. However, in conclusion they said the Sutra of the recollection of the Noble Three Jewel is completed. So, he says that all the time, all durations of in this world, whatever comes, benefits, happiness, it comes from the three jewels. The source of everything of this world is three jewels. So these three jewels, the names are like great potations, you could say. So three jewels are indestructible, but protection of the every world, every sentient beings. So he says that most virtues, auspiciousness are a source of the three jewels, or it comes from three jewels. So even someone, he says, even merely you remember, it will remove of all your weakness, all your obstacles, all your problems. Gupa malu pali unjimbar yendes. And then he used one quote. Even merely you remember of this Buddha Dhamma. He used one quote. If someone has fear to make your hairs move or something, when you have such fear comes, he said, you should remember of the Buddhas or Buddha's quality. If you cannot remember of the Buddha's quality, you should remember of the Dharma. If you cannot, you should remember of the Sangha. He says, you will be removed of all these sufferings, fears. There's many of also historical stories of these things, how they free from the sufferings. And then here there was one story of the God realms, so that I think you can read, it's not that important. So even merely you remember of the three jewels, it gives such these things. Then if someone really study, someone speaking, someone think, and there's no questions. And then remembering, thinking, gain measurable of the benefits, merits, virtues, and he used also another words here, says that, they generated your root of the virtues. Or if you kind of generate your virtue to Buddhas, such kind of devotion, offering, prostration, etc., and that person will exhaust it of the samsara. Or maybe you can say this way, I think, that virtue will never disappear, I think, Kova Sepamandis. And, the samsara is never end. So therefore your virtue will never end. And you obtain limitless of the nirvanas, as well as also someone who generated the root of virtue with dharma, someone who also doing this, the sangha, the merit will never end, as like samsara never end, and so on and so forth. And then also he used some of the words from the sutras. That we talk about 4 continents. And 4 continents of the size, or size of the water. They some measurements here, 4 continents. And someone can measure it by work. But if someone generate virtues with 3 jewels, we cannot measure it. As we talk, 3 jewels is actually, the reality of 3 jewels is limitless. So if someone link with that, I think it's limitless too. And likewise, we could make measures of all this universe, 4 continents, etc., by kilograms or something. As well as also all these oceans, we can measurement with vase or cup or something. But the generate root virtues with 3 jewels, no one can measure, he says. And this is just only examples from the Sutra teachings. But there is many of these. And if you want to learn more, like relaxing in nature of mind, there's called chapter, refuge chapter. And quality of the precious Jimelimba, this chapter called refuge chapter. And then also the Longchen Ranjampas, some of these 7 teachers, they talk very details. So I think if you want to really research about Buddha Dhamma Sangha, you guys research something, something really, I don't know really that research is very useful or not, but you learn these things if you research. How would they talk? 3 jewels. Oh, Sutayana, what says about 3 jewels? Vajrayana, what says? Dzogchen. And make little books and share these things in the world, your own language. How benefit of your country? You guys are learn things since you are 3 years old to until now. I'm sure you have good, your own letter writing, things like that. So if you write something with that, like 3 jewels, it's really wonderful. This great gift of your country, your sentient being, mother sentient beings, and so on and so forth. However, and then so reality says that the 3 jewels quality is the more far than the space, as well as pure spring and unsuppressible, and whoever longing respect, that quality benefit is also same, countless, measureless, etc. So therefore, Mabharama says, whatever refuges, yidams, gurus, drakunis, dhamma protectors, landowners, wealthy deities, so on and so forth. Everything, it has to be included in these three jewels. So therefore, he says, if you have mind, if you have wisdom, you should really think of these three jewels. Remember of the quality of these three jewels, and take three jewels as your permanent refuge. And keep that until you become enlightenment. And that way that you will be removed of the samsara and find the path of the enlightenment, and so on and so forth. No, the Sonji Tanji Gomba Ronya, together Mela Semi, Betusum Jalba Tonji Mujapa, Papa Pagajin, Kuyu was the Jiggy and the Yenjeba Nanga, Jesus Jojo, Mazebanga, Tanji, Chicha Yulahibanos. If someone to remembering of the Buddhas, so then one would be saying that the generation mind of the Buddhas, aspiration of the Buddhas, of the three times, if we count each of these, no one can count. But that if we really devotion to the one Buddha, genuinely, and you are devotion to the all Buddhas, you are remembering of the all Buddhas' qualities. So therefore, in the reality, the limitless of Buddhas, you are your protections. And if you tambachu long six jeba tu lo pay sem ba jige jeba de you show the tanje chu tanje la yong da ban tama yela